The ground screamed before she did, a seismic howl that announced the beast long before its shadow swallowed the arena. Zyra of the Keln stood frozen at the center of the ruined outpost, 6 translucent eyes locked on the shape tearing through the dust storm. The air smelled of scorched metal and fear. Her honor guards were already gone. Some fled, some lay broken across the stone. She had been taught queens never run. Still, every survival instinct begged her to collapse, to hide, to vanish. But there was nowhere left to go. The devourer came closer, each step collapsing another memory of her world. And Zyra realized with a strange calm that this was how her species would end. But that was only the beginning. The devourer was not an animal. It was a relic of war, an autonomous siege organism left behind by an extinct civilization. 3 stories tall. Living armor fused with machine logic. It hunted power signatures, leadership pheromones, anything that marked authority. Queens like Zyra were irresistible targets. The Galactic Council had promised safety. Treaties. Protection. Lies, all of it. When the devourer breached the perimeter, every allied ship jumped to hyperspace within seconds. Including her guards. Including her future. Zyra straightened her spine plates and raised her crest in defiance. She would die seen. Then a new signal spiked on her dying console. Human. What I saw next changed everything. Elias Ward had no business being there. He was a logistics officer, barely a soldier, assigned to inventory relief supplies on the fringe station. No powered armor. No genetic enhancements. Just a battered rifle and a mind that never learned when to quit. When evacuation orders sounded, Elias watched every ship leave, and noticed one life sign still burning in the red zone. Against protocol, against sanity, he turned back. The devourer registered him as irrelevant. Too small. Too weak. Not worth processing. That mistake would cost it everything. Elias saw the alien queen standing alone and understood something without translation. She had been abandoned. None of us were prepared for the truth. Zyra watched the human approach, disbelief rippling through her neural frill. Humans were supposed to be fragile. Loud. Reckless. Useful only in numbers. Yet this one walked straight toward the devourer, shoulders squared, fear contained behind clenched teeth. "Hey," Elias muttered, activating his calm even though he knew she wouldn't understand. "I don't know who you are. But you're not dying alone." The devourer turned its primary eye toward him at last. A warning pulse shook the air, strong enough to rupture organs. Zyra staggered. Elias did not. His suit alarms screamed, bones vibrating, but he took another step forward. And another. Because that's what humans did when the universe told them to stop. But that was only the beginning. The first strike should have killed him. A tendril of living alloy lashed out, faster than artillery. Elias Dove felt heat shear past his back and rolled behind a fallen spire. His rifle was useless. He knew that. Everyone did. The devourer had survived planetary bombardment. So Elias did something no one had tried. He opened his helmet and screamed. Not in rage. Not in defiance. In grief. The sound carried something the devourer's logic couldn't parse. Raw human emotion, encoded in chaotic neural resonance. The beast hesitated. Just for a fraction of a second. Elias exploited it. He triggered the experimental core strapped to his chest. Classified tech never meant to be activated by an unaugmented mind. A human brain wasn't supposed to survive the feedback. Zyra felt it before she saw it. A surge. A scream through reality. But that was only the beginning. The core didn't explode. It synchronized. The devourer reeled as Elias forced his consciousness into its control lattice. Pain like white fire tore through him. Memories bled. His childhood on a drowned Earth city, his sister lost to famine, the endless wars humans fought just to exist. The beast absorbed it all. And broke. This was the midpoint no one expected. The devourer wasn't evil. It was empty. A weapon that had outlived its masters, still obeying a purpose without meaning. Elias understood that in an instant. And made a choice. Instead of shutting it down, he stayed. What I saw next changed everything. Zyra watched as the impossible happened. The devourer knelt. Its massive frame locked into a dormant stance, weapons retracting, eye dimming. Elias collapsed to one knee, blood streaming from his nose, breath ragged. He was alive, but barely. Zyra rushed to him, alien hands trembling as she supported his weight. Their eyes met. 2 species, separated by light years of misunderstanding, bound by one irrational act. "You should have run," she translated softly through her implant. Elias laughed weakly. "Yeah. People keep telling us that. But that was only the beginning. The council returned hours later when it was safe. They saw the devourer dormant. They saw a human standing between it and an alien queen. And they were afraid. They demanded Elias be executed. Human minds interfacing with forbidden weapons violated every law. Zyra listened in silence, then did something unprecedented. She declared Elias her shield bound. An ancient Keln bond. One that placed his life above her own. One that made any harm to him an act of war. The chamber erupted. None of us were prepared for the truth. Zyra revealed the Devourer's secret to the galaxy. That the greatest threats were not monsters, but abandoned tools forgotten by civilizations that refused to take responsibility for what they created. And she revealed something else. Humans weren't dangerous because of their weapons. They were dangerous because they cared. Even when it hurt. Especially when it hurt. The council retreated, treaties rewritten in fear and awe. But that was only the beginning. Elias never fully left the Devourer. A part of him remained linked, a silent guardian keeping the relic dormant. He lived, aged, laughed, and argued with Zyra beneath alien stars. When he finally died, quietly, peacefully, the Devourer powered down forever. Zyra stood beside his body and wept in a way only humans recognized. Because in the end, the beast didn't stop because it was destroyed. It stopped because one human stepped forward and refused to walk away.